Oh, hi there, everybody. Yeah, glad to see you here. Hey, we're so glad you came. Huh, We're just getting ready for a very special events here this very month, and which is a friend of mine about brown bears before, but today we're on a few things here. And while St. Patrick's Day may be about malarkey and shenanigans like leprechauns, and there's another animal with crazy colors and funny business, and I'm not monkeying around too much. So, what are you sharing about today this time? Well, I'm glad you asked. Today, I'm going to share with you about a greenish looking animal that I'm thinking of, and it might be a little risky. Let's see, what am I thinking about? Sloths, crocs. Oh, I thought of good ones, all right. Franklin the turtle? Yeah, maybe so. Oh, although we have a sea turtle episode, but that's another story. Today, I'm going to share with you about a special lizard that I've met here. And he'll show up with you for you, sure enough. But before we can get to that here, let me show you what I really mean. Today, we're going to be talking about geckos. Let's see here. If I look in this book, there are different kinds of geckos in the world. For example, here's the toge gecko, one of the largest. Toge geckos live in rainforests in Southeast Asia. They are nocturnal, which means they sleep during the day. During the night, they climb around and prowl on the ground in the trees. What's with the picture of his foot here? Most people think they have suction cups on their toes, but that's not true. It's actually toe pads with tiny structures that are like clump bristles on a toothbrush. Very microscopic. And they have electrical charges, phenomenal up to 11. To take a step, that toe pads peel as they lift their feet and takes a step and the charges turn off. Here's some other kinds. Here's the new Canadian, the flying gecko. Its webbed feet help glides. It's the Madagascar day gecko. It lives in Madagascar and is greenish, web-footed. An African fat-tailed gecko. It stores fat in its tail for food. There are many others like the Chinese leopard gecko, purple and white stripes. The Williamsdorf gecko, small and blue. And of course, there's another, the crescent gecko. This endangered one has rich spine and on the eyes they look like eyelashes. And another one, the banana gecko, known for its banana yellow belly. Pretty funny, huh? But before we can get to this story, here's a little example of a very special lizard friend. Here he is. Hodari is the name, the Williamsdorf gecko of East Africa. He lives in the Pride Lands. He's been following his dream a lot. Even though he's small, he could do something no geckos can't do. Pay attention. He climbs your rock sides, hang upside down. That's geckos. That's what geckos can do. They can hang upside down since they have toe pads. Any surface, anywhere. Williamsdorf geckos can even fit inside logs with room to jump around. Yep, he can sneak anywhere. During the battle, he he saved that crocodile, Maku, from Kibori. He, holding onto his snout and dodged. Maku hit him away. Yep, he got him so good. This is what Kibori gets for all the trouble, thanks to Kion. Well, something like that, but thanks to Hodari, who saved Maku, he thought give him a big reception. And since he followed his dream to be part of this group here.
Ever. Very well. Crocodiles!
Welcome,
Hodari!
the honorary
crocodile.
Even though he's a lizard, he's a crooked heart. But let's get back to the real deal. And carry on with this story. How I want to tell you about this green gecko. Oh, and don't forget to keep an open mind. Remember, it's best to keep it open. Oh, here's a surprise for you. St. Patrick's Eve, huh? Amazing disguises. One day I was out minding my business. There's that little gecko, just like the look in the book. Little Henry was his name. And he's busy looking in his costume box, or a toy chest. What's he got in here? Oh, hello. Nice mustache here.
You must be mistaking me for someone else.
We know it was you.
If you want some disguise tips, you should take a look at some of these experts.
Huh?
Many animals have found lots of different ways to not be seen when they don't want to be.
Staying hidden was what being Master Disguise is all about. Little Henry saw a lot of different things. A horned frog, a walking stick, and also in the picture frame, a vine snake. Right over there. He's staying very, very still. Some geckos do use camouflage, but some here have a trick or two. Some can lose their tails and then regenerate new ones. It's how they escape. It's how they defend themselves. Most lizards can do that. Did you know it? Pretty neat. Disguises help animals to stay hidden. Spots,
Stripes,
lookalikes, all kinds of ways to help blend in with the scenery. Like, for example, this red-eyed tree frog. It uses its green skin to blend in. Another guy is the X-ray fish. Its pretty see-through trickery helps fool predators. And this belongs to a flounder. Relax, Henry. It's just a flounder hiding in the sand from predators. There's nothing to be afraid of. They're great, only
Only
what, Henry?
I wish I could find a really good disguise.
That's okay. I understand. Next, Henry found some other things, like stripes. Lots of animals use stripes for pattern. It's not only to recognize each other, but to help know who's who. And don't say they stick out like a sore thumb. Take a look. All zebras, no two have the same pattern. After all, there's no way you can confuse one. Another animal with striped disguise is the bongo antelope.
When the bongo antelope stands in the dappled light of the forest, it's got the perfect camouflage.
You know what they say. Now you see me, now you don't. Is that what they say? You think he's something. Look who else has a disguise tip. The octopus. They could change color, texture their skin, and shape to blend in. If attacked, he'll squirt ink to get away. A pretty sneak attack. He's hiding on that rock. Huh. He's hiding from Moray Eel, but he's okay now. Phew. The cuttlefish can change colors to blend in too. Are they the only ones that can? The pipefish, like the seahorse, can lay still just like a weed to hide. Huh. After a little look around in the ocean, one day Henry was trying to do a little mask trick until...
Very impressive. You certainly got yourself a new look there.
Uh-oh, he overdone it. He got into a big mess. But I do know another green lizard friend. He is. This is Clyde. He's Henry's cousin, even though he's a chameleon. I have lots of cousins. Did you know chameleons change colors to tell their mood? Even though they can change colors for camouflage, they can even do that, but it depends on the body temperature. There are about 180 different kinds of chameleons in the world. Huh. The chameleon moves around in a jerky motion, looking like a leaf blowing in the branches. Their eyes look two ways at once, so they can look for prey. Bugs. That's what they eat. When he finds it, well, that is when Clyde spotted at the bug he wants to catch. And that's when he uses sticky tongue. Ooh! Yuck! Ugh! He got a grasshopper. Later that day, I went to check on Henry. And little Henry, he was zooming around on his little motorboat out to sea. Turn around. Not fully.
Uh-oh. I hope he doesn't sink.
I'm afraid he got a hole in his boat. And sure enough, he arrived at the sargassum plant, just like in the Car the Sea Turtle story. Nothing in here but this shrimp or this crab. But I do see the sargassum anglerfish somewhere. Nope. Oh, just a triggerfish. Fooled me. Ah, there he is. Right over here. Some animals, like leaf fish, use disguise the leaf type from prey and predators. Just like this fella, a Matamata turtle from South America. That afternoon,
It's time for your special report. Henry, time for your report. Come here. You are ready, aren't you?
Oh.
We're waiting for your report.
Oh, pardon me. Mr. Narrator just likes to keep to himself. He can't show his face, but we can hear his voice. You'll have to forgive me. You know it's St. Patrick's Week. Malarkey and shenanigans.
On the decorator crab.
Ah, the decorator crab. Allow me to help him tell his report. The decorator crab here gets named from attaching little piece of coral, shells, and seaweed hiding in the sand. And that's just what he's doing. He's also attaching anemones on him. You see, the sea anemones and other materials help camouflage the decorator crab and make predators stay away from him because sea anemones will sting you. Youch! Now you know that big story of the report. But not all disguises are used for camouflage. Not even when you're colored green here.
To make the themselves
So,
look alike
Phil
than
knows
they
him.
really are.
Look bigger.
Henry, don't go too far.
What do you mean?
Uh-oh. He's trying to inflate himself like a balloon. Oh, no. He's gonna... Gadzooks! Hold it in here!
Too far.
Ah!
Sometimes
Ooh. That? Too close. Some snakes and lizards don't get along, like that tegu and that false water cobra. Not poisonous as his cousin, but he can act tough by standing up to him. But I do know another trick. That toad inflate like a balloon to protect itself too. The false water cobra makes its hood shape to scare off the tegu lizard who stood up to him. It's not nice to pick on someone, but there are other disguises you might think here, even though I can't be a master of one. What do you mean? This is a pine cone skink. Its tail imitates its head. It's called mimicry. It's what you call an animal that imitates something else or fools others. Just like the owl butterfly uses eye spots to fool other animals. Another is the hognose snake. It can't imitate a rattler, but it can also do that trick just like opossums. You know that fall over and lay still? Yeah. And another tricky animals are the Arctic fox and the snowy owl. Its feathers help blend in. I know it's daytime, but the snowy owl is diurnal. That means awake during the day. I told him that. When he saw it for himself, he was surprised. Little Henry had never seen a snowy owl before. Then, little Henry saw something hiding from those wolves. It turns out to be this little critter. A snowshoe hare. Yep, he used his fur to blend in, because in the winter it turns white, but in spring they turn brown. It's how they defend themselves. And they can be very quick, up to 35 miles per hour. After a lot of searching around and sharing a lot of facts. Well, little Henry learned that he doesn't need to do disguise tricks all day. He's got his own green scales. He's here for that. He doesn't have to pick one after all.
like stripes or spots.
Spots. Don't talk to me about spots.
Oh, pardon me.
Anyone could spot me looking like this. Better leave it to those masters of animal disguise. Bye.
And that's how I first met him. He was right here during that very day when I was at school here. And when I first met him, I saw all kinds of creatures use disguises. It doesn't matter how different we are, and you don't need something fancy to use something useful. You just have something what you have of your own. And if you think that was something, wait till you see this. You know when I said, now you see me, now you don't? There's a reason why that song goes. Hit it, buddy. Yeah, from our friend Kinyanga, the chameleon. Camouflage is what I call my neat ability.
Blending in is what I do. Just look
Close, cause you won't see. Am I here? Is she there? She'd disappear. Take a look, hide and seek.
Yes, my
This skill is so unique. Well, I could stay in one tone, but I won't. Cause now you see, now you don't. Shadows is one technique. It might scare a friend, But scaring other animals is what I won't tolerate. Right here, there, be that I know where to look, hide and seek. Yes, my skill is so unique. Like catch me, but you won't. So now you see me, now you don't. Hey, come out here, you rascal. Don't change the bright. Sometimes change colors so she can have some fun. Oh yeah. Change shades and disappear. Take a look, hide and seek. Yes, your skill is so unique. Well, I can stay in one tone, but I won't. So now you see me. Now you don't. Thanks, everybody. Now you know where you got that saying is from. If you think that was pretty cool, now being good malarkey is okay, but it's best to learn not to be a shenanigan all the time. Why not? I'm glad you ask. But you must learn it's very serious. It all began right here in the Pride Lands of Africa, when a couple of different animals just decided to go off on their own since they got bored and started trying new things their own way. So what happened? Well, according to this, 3 different animals left the herd of their families and started a group of their own. And it's a good reason why. And what did they do? And what 3 animals? The 3 that is a young elephant, monkey, and antelope. That's them in that story called Rafiki's Biggest Fans, even though the original title was Rafiki's New Neighbors. Here, let me show you what I mean here. And this malarkey is monkey business. And here he is now. Here's the difference. Baboons have long tails, mantles have short tails, and blue striped cheeks and a bright red nose. They're powerful as a gorilla and turn bright colors when they're angry. And they can show their sharp fangs when they're threatened. But Rafiki won't mess with you here. He's real nice. But watch out. He loves to bunk someone in the head to knock some sense into you. Don't try that at home. Where do they live? The rainforests of Central West Africa. Although they're friendly, they can smotch your sharp teeth when they're scared. They like to eat the fruits, vegetables, and bugs in the rainforest and sleep in trees at night. They live in big troops, sometimes huge communities, gather to make 800 of them in one big gathering. So what happened to them? It just happened when a Zanzibar red colobus named Fraha and Mazaha, a sable antelope, walked by. They just decided to leave by their own choice and started a herd of their own. Seemed a good decision for them to me, because they call themselves fun guys like me.
I guess we fun guys are not.
No problem. I really like us.
Then they saw Chama, the African elephant.
Chama!
Mazala!
You left too, Chama?
Yeah, my herd cannot take a joke. And boy, have I tried. I mean, sheesh.
We 3 fun guys need to stick together from now on.
Indeed.
Chama, za, na, faraha. Ooh. The 3 of them made the same agreement and about sticking together as a herd of their own. Remember, every animal group is quite different. So what happened? Well, they just started out having lots of fun. Let's get it all. Have some fun. Six lives never ending. Together, number 10. Between us three, we're staying. Just it's always the plan. The only words you need to say is find a place that they can play. Never feel they left behind. Together they are three of a kind. Those guys were making pranks and mischief without even knowing they're upsetting other animals. They didn't realize it was that funny, but I couldn't resist the way they laughed. Whoop!
So, who says we go back to our tree? Yeah!
Let's go!
After they had left, they just went into a tree familiar. There's Rafiki teaching his new apprentice, Makini, in training.
Huh.
Yes, the lions of the past tell me what the painting needs to be. And now I know.
A sun is on the squash banana.
How did you do that? You make it look so easy.
It is easy after it is hard.
Okay.
Just then, there was a big thud. Oops! Who did that? Something funny was going on.
Most likely it is not. It seems we have visitors.
Those three animals were right at home here, making too many jokes. Even Mazar was ramming trees with his head and tapping each other on shoulders.
Oh, yes. That is funny because you were tapping me, and yet when I turn around, no one is there.
Who are you three, so young and full of life?
Name's Chama. This is Mazaha and Faraha. Chama Chama, Mazaha, not Faraha.
Ugh, these guys sure rough and tumble.
And good news for you, my friend. We fun guys are living here now.
Rafiki was not sure about that.
They might say.
You cannot live here. I need quiet to train my apprentice.
They won't bother me. They seem nice.
Makini.
Hey,
Now,
yeah,
they
are
are nice.
Nice and fun. Just like you, Rafiki.
We see you around the Pride Lands talking with King Simba. Ha! Ha! I am wise, and yet I have a good time.
That's exactly what they said. Rafiki couldn't ask why they're not with their herds. They decided a place for them where they belong. But Rafiki told them they cannot stay here because Makini needs some time to concentrate and told him to go find a proper spot. Apparently, they found a nice tree by big springs, a large lake where hippos live. But then came more trouble. It was very serious and something was wrong. A spark appeared from the dry watering hole and caused by lightning started a fire. And some sparks flew up and landed by Rafiki's tree. Uh-oh, trouble! Until they heard some calling for help. The three friends.
We're coming to save you.
And that is no joke.
This would be fine if there was not a fire.
Chama used his trunk, and blowed the dust to make a path. Whew. They hopped onto their backs and got out of here just in the nick of time. What about Rafiki's tree? That's exactly gonna do. Put it out.
Sama, Mazaha, Furaha. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. How did you know we were in trouble?
I got big ears. They hear things. Come on, Chama. We have to save Rafiki's tree. You got it, pals. It is his home after all.
By kicking a lot of dirt and springing and digging, the lion guard put the fire out just in the nick of time. Near this water hole, it dried up. Those three were so cooperative, they can pull their weight when they need to. They're all okay.
Fine. We are fine.
Well, working together, they got the fire out just in the nick of time. With one scoop and dig and shuffle.
You've almost got it. Allow me.
Chama took one big suck here. Whoa, one last time. The fire was out.
Great job, everyone.
My tree. It is saved.
Rafiki gave a big thank you, and the new friends.
There are no words.
Hey, no problem, Rafiki. We're just glad you and your tree are safe.
Yes, my tree.
Then, Rafiki offered them, since they found a new home. Well, that was a great decision. What did they decide? Tonight's painting ceremony. Since they joined up with their herds, I hope they learn not to be treated like misfits. I think Rafiki and Simba had to have a talk with their herds. And they did. And when they heard the news, they decided that they had to find a place where they're happy and let them make their own way. It was the right decision. They knew that misfits have a place. Even their leaders realized they were wrong. But they did learn something, too. And sure enough, the ceremony began.
As you all know, it is the duty of every royal Majusi to keep the history of the Pride Lands alive. Today,
What? Majusi, advisor, knowledge keeper. It's Pridelander stuff. While Simba announced who will do it today,
Makini will take yet another step in that role.
Rafiki,
Ready?
as the honors began, listening to the whispers of the wind, that's when she did a family portrait. See how she used her fingers? How does she do it? By grinding fruits and plants to make paint in the gourds, they use their fingers. You know what they say, monkey see, monkey do. That's one of my favorite sayings. And sure enough, she made this, the family portrait. Doesn't it look splendid? I'm a great artist too. I love to do drawing. Everyone cheered.
You did it, Rafiki.
And Rafiki was proud of her.
Yes, you did, Makini. Yes, you did.
And that is what they did here. We're back here in our headquarters to talk about what we've learned today. And what have you learned today here? That colors and patterns come in all different things, in all sorts of ways, on all kinds of animals. No matter what green or blue or orange or brown or yellow, or any color, every creature is different in colors and patterns. especially when it comes to needs for disguise. Heh. But it's also one thing here. Tricks and laughs are just for fun, but remember, always control what you joke about. And don't you worry, those three will be more careful from now on. And they'll also, jokes and laughs have a time and a place. And remember, it's best to be considerate and pull your weight. So remember, just think of others, and for all you monkeys out there, no more jumping on the bed. See you soon. And while St. Patrick's Day may be about malarkey and shenanigans like leprechauns, there's another animal of crazy colors and funny business, and I'm not monkeying around too much.